It started on a night that felt completely normal. Nothing about that evening suggested that it would become the most terrifying night of my life. I was 15 years old at the time. My parents had gone out to attend a dinner with some friends across town, and they told me they probably wouldn't be home until after midnight. That meant I had the house to myself for several hours. For most teenagers, that's a dream situation. No parents, no rules for a few hours. Just a quiet house and whatever you want to do. Our house wasn't huge, but it was comfortable. The living room had a big couch facing a large smart TV mounted on the wall. My dad had bought the TV a few months earlier because he loved gadgets and technology. He always talked about how smart devices were the future. This thing can do everything, he told me the day he installed it. It connects to the internet, voice commands, apps, streaming. It even has a built-in camera for video calls. At the time, I thought it was cool. Looking back now, that camera is what scares me the most. That night, I ordered a pizza and decided to spend the evening watching movies. The house felt peaceful, the kind of quiet you only get when no one else is home. I dimmed the lights, grabbed a blanket, and sat on the couch, while the glow from the TV filled the room. Outside, the wind was picking up slightly. I could hear it brushing against the windows every now and then. Nothing unusual, just a normal night. Around 9:30 p.m., I had already finished one movie and started scrolling through streaming apps, looking for another one. That's when something strange happened. The TV suddenly turned off. At first I thought maybe I accidentally pressed something on the remote, but the remote was sitting on the table in front of me. I picked it up and pressed the power button. The TV turned back on. Okay. Weird, I muttered to myself, but electronics glitch sometimes, so I didn't think much about it. I went back to browsing movies. Then it happened again. The TV shut off. This time I frowned and stared at the screen. Seriously? I pressed the power button again. The TV came back on. For a few seconds, everything seemed normal again. Then suddenly, the screen changed. It switched from the streaming menu to something I had never seen before. A video file. There was no title, just a small preview thumbnail that looked dark and blurry. I didn't remember downloading anything like that. Did my dad record something? I wondered out loud. Curious, I pressed play. The screen went black for a moment. Then the video started. At first, I couldn't understand what I was looking at. The image was grainy, like security camera footage. But slowly, my eyes adjusted. It was a room. My room. I immediately sat up straighter on the couch. The video was showing my bedroom. The camera angle looked like it was positioned high up in the corner, near the ceiling. The weirdest part? I was in the video. I was lying in bed, asleep. For several seconds, I just stared at the screen in confusion. How? My brain tried to come up with a logical explanation. Maybe the TV had somehow connected to a security camera system. Maybe my parents had installed cameras for safety and forgot to tell me. But something didn't make sense. This video clearly showed me sleeping, and I had never seen a camera anywhere in my room. The footage continued playing. Nothing really happened in it. I was just sleeping peacefully under my blanket. The timestamp in the corner of the video said it was recorded 2 nights ago. My stomach started to feel slightly uneasy. Who recorded this? And how? After about 30 seconds, I paused the video. The room around me suddenly felt different. The living room, which had felt comfortable before, now felt strangely quiet. Too quiet. I grabbed the remote again and checked the video menu. There were more files. 3 more recordings. Each one had a different timestamp. My curiosity was stronger than my fear at that moment, so I clicked the next video. This one started in darkness. Then, after a few seconds, a dim hallway light appeared on the screen. I recognized it instantly. It was the hallway outside my bedroom. The camera angle looked like it was placed somewhere near the ceiling again. The hallway was empty. completely still, but as the video continued playing, something moved. A shadow, very faint. It slowly passed across the hallway wall. My heart skipped a beat. I leaned closer to the screen. The shadow looked human, but there was no person visible, just a shadow moving across the wall, like someone walking past the camera, except no one appeared. I paused the video again. Now, I was definitely feeling uneasy. My parents were the only other people who lived in the house, and they were out tonight, which meant that hallway should be empty. I told myself it had to be some kind of technical glitch. Maybe the TV was pulling random security footage from somewhere online. Maybe it was just some weird app malfunction. That explanation helped me calm down a little, but deep down, something didn't feel right. I clicked the third video. This one was different. The footage showed the living room, the same living room I was currently sitting in, the same couch, the same TV. But the room in the video was dark and empty. The timestamp said the video was recorded the previous night at 2:13 a.m. I watched carefully. Nothing happened for several seconds. Then suddenly, the camera shifted slightly, like it had been bumped. My eyes widened, and then I saw it. A figure. Someone stepped into the edge of the camera frame, but only partially. I could see a shoulder and part of a head, but the lighting was so dark that I couldn't make out any details. The figure stood there for several seconds, completely still, then slowly stepped back out of view. The video ended. At that moment, I felt a chill run through my entire body, because there was one terrifying question in my mind. If this video was recorded last night, then who was that person in my living room, and why didn't I hear them? I swallowed nervously and glanced around the room. Everything looked normal: the couch, the table, the windows, the quiet hallway leading deeper into the house. But suddenly the house didn't feel peaceful anymore. It felt like something was wrong, very wrong, and I had no idea that the worst video was still waiting for me. My hands were shaking slightly as I stared at the list of videos on the screen. 3 recordings, 3 moments inside of my house that I never remembered being recorded. But there was still one video left. The last file had the most recent timestamp. Today, 9:42 p.m. I checked the clock on the wall. It was 9:47 p.m. That meant the video had been recorded only 5 minutes ago. A cold feeling spread through my chest. "That's impossible," I whispered. I had been sitting on the couch the entire time. No one had entered the house. No cameras were supposed to be recording. Yet somehow, there was a video taken just minutes earlier. My finger hovered over the play button. For a moment, I thought about turning the TV off and just ignoring everything. But curiosity can be stronger than fear. I pressed play. The screen flickered. Then the footage appeared. It was the living room again. But this time, something about the angle felt wrong. The camera wasn't positioned in the corner like before. It looked closer, lower, almost like it was sitting directly in front of the couch. My eyes slowly moved across the screen, and then my heart stopped, because the person sitting on the couch in the video was me. The video was showing the exact same moment I was currently living. I could see myself holding the remote, leaning forward, staring at the TV. It was like watching a mirror version of reality, except there was a 5-second delay. "What the hell?" I whispered. The TV was showing live footage of the room, but where was the camera? My eyes quickly scanned the walls, the shelves, the ceiling. I didn't see anything. Then something in the video moved. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, but then I saw it clearly. Behind the couch, in the dark hallway, something stepped forward. A shape. Tall, thin, almost completely black. It looked like a person standing just out of the light. But the weirdest part was how still it was. The figure wasn't walking, it wasn't breathing, it was just standing there, watching. And in the video, it was standing right behind me. My entire body froze. Slowly, very slowly. I turned my head toward the hallway behind the couch. The hallway was empty. Nothing there. No person. No shadow. Just darkness. My heart was pounding so loudly I could hear it in my ears. I looked back at the TV. The figure was still there, standing behind me. Closer now. In the video, it had taken another step forward. My breathing became shallow. This isn't real, I said to myself. But the screen didn't lie. The figure raised one arm slowly. Its hand stretched toward my shoulder. I jumped off the couch and spun around. The hallway was still empty. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. When I looked back at the TV again, the figure was gone. The video ended, and the screen returned to the menu. For a few seconds, I just stood there, breathing heavily, trying to understand what had just happened. Then suddenly, the TV turned off again. The living room fell into darkness. The moment the TV shut off, the room went completely dark, except for the faint light coming from the kitchen. For a few seconds, I just stood there. My heart was racing. The silence inside the house suddenly felt heavy, like the walls themselves were listening. I grabbed the remote and pressed the power button again. Nothing happened. The TV stayed black. "Come on. Turn on," I whispered. Still nothing. I tried again. This time the screen flickered for a moment, then came back to life. But the normal menu wasn't there. Instead, the screen showed another video. A new one. A file that's hadn't been there before. The timestamp read 9:51 p.m. Live. My stomach dropped. I hadn't opened any app. I hadn't pressed anything. Yet the TV was showing another recording. Slowly, the image cleared. It was the hallway again. The same hallway that led to the bedrooms. The camera angle looked higher this time, almost like it was placed near the ceiling. The hallway lights were off, only darkness. Then, suddenly, something moved. At the far end of the hallway, a tall shadow slowly appeared. My breath caught in my throat. The shadow stepped forward, one slow step, then another. The movement was unnatural, almost stiff, like something trying to imitate how humans walk. I leaned closer to the screen. The figure slowly stepped into the faint light coming from the kitchen, and that's when I saw it clearly. It looked like a person, but something was wrong with its shape. Its arms were too long, its head tilted slightly to the side, and its face? There was no face, just darkness. My entire body felt cold. Then the figure suddenly stopped moving. It turned its head slightly and looked directly toward the camera, toward me. The TV screen glitched for a second. Static filled the display. Then the image returned, but the hallway was empty again. The figure was gone. I stared at the screen in disbelief. Then I heard something behind me, a soft sound, like a floorboard creaking. Very slowly, I turned my head toward the hallway, the real hallway, the one inside my house. It was dark, completely silent, but something about it felt different now, like something was standing there, just outside the light. My first instinct was to grab my phone. I quickly turned on the flashlight. The bright beam cut through the darkness of the living room. For the first time that night, I felt a little safer. Light makes things feel real, logical. I walked slowly toward the hallway. Each step felt heavier than the last. The house that had always felt normal suddenly felt unfamiliar. Every shadow looked suspicious. Every sound made my heart jump. I reached the hallway entrance and pointed my phone light down the corridor. Empty. Just the usual pictures on the walls. The closed bedroom doors. The quiet darkness. I let out a slow breath. See, nothing there, I told myself. But something still bothered me.
Those videos had to come from somewhere, which meant there had to be a camera. And if there was a camera, it had to be inside the house. I slowly walked down the hallway. My phone light scanned every corner. Then something caught my eye. A small